These exercises are completely useless. And yes, you're probably doing them too. The thing is, you might not even realize it. By now, they become part of your routine. They slipped into your workout. You think they're helping your progress. That these are the moves you need to get stronger, more defined, fitter. Don't get me wrong, I respect anyone who even tries to change themselves. Anyone who puts in the effort to improve is already doing more than 99% of people. That's exactly why I created this channel and the app, to help you see that maybe, just maybe, you've been doing it wrong the whole time. You do crunches, but you barely feel your abs. Your neck is tight, your lower back hurts, but you keep going thinking it will get better eventually. You bang out push-ups, but your elbows go numb, your shoulders are wrecked. You don't even notice that one side is doing more work than the other. Still you push through, because the motivation's there, for now. You are planking, your lower back is shaking, your shoulders are on fire, and somehow you still don't feel like it's building your core. And now, here I come, telling you it's all useless. Throw out those exercises, delete them from your routine. But wait, don't scroll away just yet, don't get pissed. Because if you are still watching, that's already half the battle. So what should you do instead? Keep the same exercises. Hold on, wait a sec. It's not the number of reps or the variety of moves that drives progress. It's how intentional your exercise selection is, how clean your form is, and whether that movement actually belongs in your current progression phase. Because there's a big difference between being able to do a movement and being truly ready for it. Most people have a general idea of what they need to do to train a specific muscle group. Something for abs, I should do push-ups for my chest, planks are good for core. But that's like saying, I want to write and starting with an essay. It doesn't work like that. Training is a language too. First you scribble, then come the letters, then words, then sentences. And only years later do you reach the point where you can move with confidence and freedom, where movement becomes self-expression. But if someone tries to jump into complex, demanding movements on day one without ever learning the basics, all they will get is frustration. And that feeling of maybe something's wrong with me. But the truth is, there's nothing wrong with them. But just no one ever showed them the steps. And that's what every video on this channel is about. Understanding what makes an exercise truly effective. Knowing when a thought has its place during training. Learning how to use your emotions to your advantage and how your nutrition can either fuel your progress or slow it down. Knowing the difference between being able to do a movement and doing one that actually builds you up. Because anything can work and at the same time, nothing will. It all depends on when and how you apply that exercise, whether it supports your current goal, whether your body, your nervous system, your mobility and your strength base are ready for it. So don't throw out these exercises, let's pull them out of the trash, dust them off and see why you weren't actually doing them that wrong. You just weren't quite at the point where they could start working. Now let's start with the first one, ab crunches. A lot of people do crunches in a way that barely activates their abs at all. They lie down, place their hands behind their head and start yanking themselves up from their neck. The elbows cave in, the chin jams down toward the chest, and the whole movement looks more like a stressed out shoulder shrug than a controlled abdominal contraction. Meanwhile, the abs are just along for the ride. The real issue here isn't just poor form, it's the lack of connection between the central nervous system and the abs. The body simply doesn't know how to activate the core on command, so when something needs to tighten, it recruits what it can. The neck, the hips, the lower back. Over time, this leads to tension, back pain and classic frustration of, I just don't feel it in my abs. The solution? Rewind the tape all the way back to zero. The goal isn't to strengthen first, but to teach first. Teach your body how to stabilize, how to connect breath with movement, and how to create active, intentional tension. The first step, the dead bug. It looks simple, but it's one of the most important foundational exercises. You lie on your back, knees bent, arms reaching toward the ceiling. The goal during the movement is to keep your lower back flat against the floor. No space underneath. That's the posterior pelvic tilt, where your pelvis tucks and your abs actively pull your ribs down. Once you can control that, you can add a slow opposite arm leg extension, but only as far as your lower back stays flat on the ground. The goal isn't the movement, it's control over the movement. Once that's stable, you can move on to the hollow hold. This is a static core hold where both your upper and lower body lift off the ground, but your lower back still stays pressed into the floor. This position is the neurological foundation of almost every bodyweight core exercise, like hanging leg raises, L-sits, dragon flags. Without it, everything else is just form without substance. And here is the key. If your body never learned how to isolate and activate the abs properly, then no complex movement will ever recruit them the way it should. So instead of doing 50 neck-driven crunches, start with 3 rounds of 30 seconds dead bug, then move on to hollow hold progressions. Your muscles don't care how many reps you do. They care whether you're teaching them what their job actually is. Once you lay that foundation, you will finally be able to perform clean, effective crunches as the next step. Now comes the part where everything becomes clear. The exercises you've been doing for years, and the mistakes that have kept you from seeing real results. This is exactly one of the problems the Final Form app was built to solve. It doesn't just tell you what exercise to do, it shows you how and when to do them. So you're not just going through the motions, but finally feeling why you're doing each movement. If you have never felt your abs during a crunch, if it's only ever been your neck or lower back that hurt, you are not the problem. You just started at the wrong level. Inside the app, I guide you step by step through the right exercises in the right order based on your actual level of development. And if you ever feel lost or stuck, I'm there with you mentally too, through dedicated sports psychology videos. Download the Final Form app from the App Store or Google Play and start moving the way your body and your mind deserve to move. Planks. One of the most commonly used bodyweight exercises and one of the most commonly messed up, because from the outside it looks simple. Keep your back straight, brace your core, hold, that's it, right? But here's the thing, most people never actually learn what it really means to engage their core. So the lower back drops, the shoulders overcompensate, the chest sinks between the scapulas, or the upper back runs too much. And suddenly all the tension is in the wrong places. Your lower back, your neck, your shoulders, while your core are just sitting there like, is this even about me? The plank isn't about holding for 1 minute. It's about how present you are in your body for 15 seconds. So let's rewind. Start from the ground. Lie on your back with your knees bent. Do a pelvic tilt until your lower back presses flat into the floor. That's posterior pelvic tilt. The exact same tension you will later use face down. Your ribs pull down, your abs draw in, not pushing out, and just hold. Now flip over and come into a kneeling plank. You don't need the full version yet. Knees down, elbows under shoulders. Tilt your pelvis so your abs hold your body, not your spine hanging in the middle. Squeeze your glutes, keep your thighs active, stabilize your scapula. And notice this, if you're doing it right, it will burn in 15 seconds. Exactly where it should. This isn't about time, it's about control. Once that's solid, then you can move onto the full plank. But only if your form is identical. If your back sags, your ribs pop out, your head drops, you are not ready. And that's perfectly fine, because the goal isn't to hold for a minute, it's to learn in 15 seconds how to actually use your body. This is the difference between the exercise itself and how you perform it. And if you build it up the right way, the plank becomes one of the best ways to learn how to keep your whole body working together even while you move. Let's move on to the next exercise, one of the most commonly messed up movements I see in every gym. Push-ups. A lot of people do push-ups with barely any real muscle engagement. The core is loose, the movement is all momentum, the chest barely gets close to the floor before the body springs back up. The elbows flare out, the shoulders overwork, and one side always ends up doing more than the other. The body isn't bracing, it's just trying to survive the movement. And the muscles, they are just along for the ride. The real issue here isn't just form, it's the lack of actual control over the movement. The body isn't working in balance, the core isn't stable, the pressing direction is unclear, and the tension never lands where it should, in your chest, triceps, and core. And if you keep doing it this way, the signs will show up. Aching shoulders, numb elbows, compensation patterns, performance plateaus. What's the solution then? You don't need to go backward, you need to go smarter. It's not about getting stronger right away. It's about reteaching your body how to coordinate the movement through full range with balance and active muscular control. The first step, elevated push-ups. Pick a height, a bench, a box, even a wall where you can go through the full range of motion without your form falling apart. Core braced, shoulders stable, elbows tracking close to your body, and the chest actually approaching the hands. From there, you push back, not with momentum, but with muscle. This variation gives you space to learn control, to feel when the core should brace, when the chest should fire, how to keep your body unified through the movement. Once that's solid, move to push-ups with feet on the ground, then full body weight push-ups, then explosive or other variations, but only when your foundation is flawless. Here's the key, if you haven't mastered the basic push-up with control, every advanced version will just be a faster path to burnout. So instead of doing 30 half-range push-ups every day, start with 3 sets of 6 to 8 perfect reps on an elevated surface. Feel how your core engages, how your arms work, and exactly when the movement should begin. Your muscles don't care about numbers. They want a clear signal from your nervous system so they know what their job is. Once you lock that in, push-ups become one of your strongest tools for progress. Until then, they are just another bad habit that leaves you more and more drained. Let's recap. Don't replace the exercise. Learn how to do it right. Most exercises aren't bad, they are just being done at the wrong level. You don't need to swap them out. You need to take a step back and rebuild them properly. Want to progress? Leave your ego at the door. Real growth starts when you are not trying to prove something, but to learn. Taking a step back isn't weakness. It's one of the smartest moves you can make for your body. Monitor yourself. Watch how you move. Practice in front of a mirror or film yourself to see if what you feel actually matches what's happening. Once you build proper movement, it stays with you. This video is here to help you step outside yourself for a moment, to honestly assess if you're truly at the right level and to understand what makes an exercise actually effective. This channel isn't just about workouts, it's about the mindset, self-awareness, and the perspective that takes movement to an entirely new level. To me, this is art, and the more attention you give to your body, the deeper the connection you build with yourself. The connection won't just change your training, it will change you. That's real progress. If you want to grow with this mindset, not just work out, but understand what you're doing, then the Final Form team is waiting for you inside the app. Download it, join us, be part of the community, share your journey, and take your next step forward with us. Thanks for watching. I hope this video resonated with you. And if you want to know why people constantly stop and stare at me in the gym, click here to find out in the next video. I will see you next week. And remember, training is just the first step. The real change is you.